Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of the FM Reboot. It's episode number 37, and today we face Basel away in Switzerland in the final game of the Europa League group stage, then Brighton at home in the Premier League, aiming to get back in the top four. Before we get to the games though, Cheryl's be getting on off camera. So it's been quite a run off camera since the last episode where you saw our wins over Sturm Graz after I threw the water bottle finally at half-time in the 3-0 win against West Brom in the Midlands derby. As you can see, 8 games in a run off camera, 4 of them have been draws, 3 wins and a defeat as well. We started a loss away at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Thought we'd lose this game. I did sort of rotate quite a few players this one, so I wasn't surprised about the outcome. Dan James scored the first 32 minutes in, whilst NATO did grab us a level. We were holding on, to be fair, and doing really well, but you know, Wolves and conceding late goals against big teams, it's a match made in hell. The Red Devils scored 2 late goals through João Palhinha, and then Donny van de Beek got one with 5 minutes to go in a 3-1 defeat. Following that, bounce back victory away in Austria against Sturm Graz, won this game by 2 goals to 1, just like in the reverse fixture, though didn't need to come from behind this one. Adama Traore scored very early on, and Big Chris got another goal. I can't believe it, man. This guy is like our 3rd or 4th highest scorer this season, man. Centre-back's been really good this year in a 2-1 victory there. And following that, 3 draws on the trot and high-scoring draws as well, beginning with a great comeback draw, against the Gunners in North London. We fell 2 goals down in the first half. First from Mario Barro, who is so good in this year's FM from the spot, and then Eddie Nketiah 9 minutes before the break, but Arsenal 2-0 up. I was thinking, not sure we're going to come back from this. With 20 minutes to go, Pedro Neto makes it 2-1. Then in stoppage time, Jota off the bench connects with a fantastic through ball, drills it in the near post and rescues us a point away in North London. Cracking result there. And then one of the games of the series, a 6-goal thriller, a 3-3 draw against Liverpool, and Molineux followed. We went 2 goals up inside the first 5 minutes. What a start, man. Raul Jimenez inside the opening minute, giving us the very early lead. And then 5 minutes in, Emi Buendia scored a contender for goal of the season. This also won goal of the month as well. An amazing solo run and an incredible strike from range as well. Sadly though, we do have a habit of collapsing in games quite often, and this was just another one of those. 10 minutes later, Mane made it 2-1 and the Reds got back on level terms 7 minutes after the restart through Virgil van Dijk hitting a free kick, and then Mane scored again 8 minutes later. So the Reds went from 2-0 down to 3-2 up, but thankfully just a minute after Mane put the Reds in front, Raul Jimenez, once again, ever reliable, made it 3-3 in a thriller there. And by the way, on Jimenez, he has now got a contract extension. More on that in a moment. Following that, match day 5 in the Europa League, a chance to guarantee top spot, and unfortunately, just like against Levante in Spain, we threw away a 2-goal lead against the Spanish side. Adama Traore goes to lead 52 minutes in, then Raul Jimenez made it 2-0 with 20 minutes to go. I was thinking, okay, game's done now, points are in the bag, we're going to top the group, and again, against Levante, we threw away the points in the space of like 2 minutes. Antonio Sanabria bagged a brace as Levante for the 2nd straight time against us, battle back from 2 goals down to claim a point. So qualification is secured alongside Levante, but we might need to win on the final group game to guarantee top spot. And following that, 2 wins and a draw back in the Premier League, starting with a 2-1 victory against the Foxes, Leicester City at Molineux. Raul Jimenez once again, 16 minutes in, marking the contract extension with his, what goal was that? Not entirely sure now, but another goal regardless of Jimenez as he made it 1-0. NATO then made it 2-0 in the second half, and whilst Leicester would grab a consolation goal, that's what it proved to be. And then a 2-0 win against Brentford away in London, a revenge victory here after we lost to them in the FA Cup final. It took a while to get going, but Fabio Silva goes to lead 19 minutes after the restart, and then with 9 minutes to go, Francisco Trincao converts a spot kick in a 2-0 victory. And our final game off camera was once again another throwaway. We were seconds away from putting us back in the top 4, and then we surrendered a draw right towards the end. So NATO gave us the lead after the Saints went down to 10 men, 57 minutes in. But it was just one of those games where we didn't really attack for the entire game, barely created anything, despite having a man advantage for over half an hour. And then in stoppage time, pinball football in the area, saw Jan Bednarek convert from close range in a 1-1 draw against Southampton. So pretty mixed run of form for Wolves. Only 3 wins in our last 8 in all competitions, and we remain in 5th place. Again, that win would have put us back in 4th by 2 points on Arsenal, but instead we're 1 point behind the Gunners, with 2 behind Chelsea, with 4 behind Man City, and we're 8 behind the front runners, Manchester United as well. The good news is we're 6 clear of both 8th and 9th in Aston Villa and Leicester. So trying to get some separation here between the teams outside of the top 7. And I did mention it, Raul Jimenez has now got a contract extension. Even at the ripe old age of 32, he continues to put in great performances. 5 goals in the Premier League in 7 games, 4 in 5 in the Europa League. This guy gets better season after season, and like fine wine, he gets better with age. Raul Jimenez got a new contract extension. It's a 3-year deal. It's 2.5 years really, and it'll expire in 2026. He's got an extra 10 grand as well, and if he plays 20 league games, which is quite likely at this point in the final year of his contract, he'll get a 1-year extension as well. I won't mind one bit though, because this guy is a dressing room leader. He is just always so consistent and yeah, a reliable source of goals. Just don't ask him to score penalties in an FA Cup final. So heading into the first of the 2 games, by the way, we just had like a youth intake preview, and as always, don't expect much from this youth intake. Whenever you see that in the preview, you know it's not going to be a good one. But heading into the game, this will be our team away in Switzerland. And again, I should show you the group actually. Can I do that real quickly now? Yeah, heading into the final game, us and Levante have both qualified, so Bars have nothing to play for in this one. And if we draw and Levante beats Sturm Graz, which is very likely indeed, then we'll drop to 2nd place. So to top it, we might well need to win tonight. So heading into the game, as you can see on the injury report right now, one player is down. It's Trincao once again. Twisted his ankle against Brentford. He's out for a couple of weeks. And also Forsby's getting a rest tonight. I said I'd give him a rest in a couple of games. This is another one for him after missing out in our last game against the Saints. And this will be our team. So Christian goal, but for his like Nuri, Miguel, Big Chris and Brandon Williams, Keita and McTominay through the middle. This is a bizarre lineup. Traore on the left, Nato on the right, and Jordao supports Raul Jimenez. On the bench, Bettinelli, Marquez, Semedo, Ward-Prowse, Gibbs White, Jota, and Fabio Silva as well. First of 2, it's Basel in Switzerland. We might need to win to top the group, so let's go do it. Come on, Wolves. Yeah, I fully expect Levante to win in Spain. So that will mean we'll need to match their result, because they will leapfrog us on goal difference. Our head-to-head record is the exact same, but on goal difference, they'll top the group. So yeah, we'll need to match their result tonight in order to qualify as group winners. And that is the perfect start. 3 minutes in. What a lovely ball by Keita in his preferred role of deep line playmaker, and showing us why I shouldn't be retraining him to left back. Lovely ball by Samir Mohamed. And there is Jimenez with the finish as well. Look at this for threading the needle. Absolutely glorious from Keita. And he's saying, Gaffer, stop playing me out of position. 1-0 Wolves. We take the lead early. Sorry, it's Samira Mohamed, by the way, not Samir. But briefly on Keita as well. One thing you'll notice here is not only has his determination gone up, which is great, but also you'll see his personality has changed as well. Now, I talk about this quite a lot. His personality when he came into the club was light-hearted. That's not a negative personality. It's always a Damatero smashing onto the side netting. I think that's a neutral one, though it could be perceived as slightly more positive. But I mentioned this before. When you have a collective group of players with positive personalities, it's more likely for new signings or youngsters coming through to change their personalities to a more positive one if they were starting off with a negative one. And also the team's collective determination stat on average will also see youngsters increase theirs over time as well, as they're beginning to sort of have the influence of the senior players rub off on them. It's one of the reasons why I love FM so much, because it's very realistic. Because you'd expect that, young players to sort of be influenced by the older players in the team. It's why I always say, having like veterans like Patricio in his team, for example, now Jimenez as well, it's not just a novelty. They really can be important. And whilst, to be fair, Patricio and Jimenez are both regular starters in this team, even if you have those squad players, those squad veterans, those dressing room leaders who don't play very often, their influence off the pitch, especially on younger players, can be just as important, if not more important, than their influence on the pitch. I love this game sometimes, I really do. I could talk about it for hours. Anyway, Wolves go 2-0 up. Great cross by Ait Nuri, as we know, so good at pegging him in. McTominay misses the header, but there's Nato with a finish at the back stick. 2-0 Wolves, I think we're topping the group. Oh no, McTominay got a flick on there, so it's actually his assist, not Ait Nuri, so fair enough. But that'll do it for the half though, and Levante are 3-0 up on Sturm Graz. Now 4-0 up actually, so as long as we don't collapse, we will indeed finish first of the group. Been in complete control tonight, absolutely dominated. 25 shots, 15 on target. The fact we only lead by 2 with an XG of 2.75 is a bit disappointing, but that's a great ball by McTominay, and now Williams crosses and Jimenez turns in. Ex-Red Devils linking up for the hockey assist and the assist, and Jimenez with another. He's going for the golden boot 3 times in the Premier League and now this season in the Europa League. Nato, Jordao, McTominay, Keita, Ait Nuri, oh good football, and Adama smacks one in from range, 4-0, points in the bag, it's over, we're topping this. Well, we've bottled a lot of things in this series. We're only 3.5 years into the save, which is a pretty damning statement to make, but thankfully we won't choke away top spot in the group. 4-0 up, 4.5 minutes to go, and possibly a chance to add a fifth in a dominant display in Switzerland as Jimenez nods down to Gibbs White off the bench, and Morgan turns in for his first of the year from close range. 5-0 Wolves, statement made tonight in Switzerland. Well, that's exactly what I wanted to see. A big victory heading into the weekend game in the Premier League. 5-0 dominant displayed. Very pleased with that result there. And a big victory does indeed mean we do top the group by 2 points. It was already decided that we would have qualified anyway heading into the final game, but to top it is a nice feeling as well. So it's us and Levante heading into the knockout stages. And when is the second knockout round draw going to be for the Europa League? As hey, Brentford did make it through. Go on, boys. So the draw is going to be on Monday. So I think what we'll do is we'll end today's episode on that after the game against Brighton. So moving on, second and final game, Brighton at home, and again a chance for us to keep the pressure on the top four as we are still playing catch up heading into the game. This will be our team. Patricia's in goal, but forwards like Nuri, Eric, Big Chris and Semedo and Neves and Fours be coming back in through the middle. Jota, the inverted winger, Nato, the inside forward on the right, and Buendia supports Fabio Silva up top. It's been quite disappointing lately. I know it's Bettinelli, McTominay, Williams, Ward-Prowse, Jordao, Traore and Jimenez as well. Second and final one, Brighton. Let's keep the pressure on that top four. Come on, Wolves. We'll cut the gap to 1 with a victory. Otherwise, we'll stay outside, but still in a European place for now. But again, like last season, you know, I'm really, I don't know whether I'm overestimating my Wolves team, but I genuinely do believe we're good enough to be a top 4 side now. Again, maybe I am being biased, but I truly do believe that as Jota steps in and Aaron Ramsdale makes the save. I'm not sure what we're lacking to be a top 4 team consistently, really, because when you look at the team, we're strong all over the pitch. You might say a long-term successor for Patricio in goal. You could say possibly a better centre-half. Eric and Big Chris are great, but maybe someone more elite, if you will. But other than that, really, we're superb everywhere. For the record, like Big Chris and Eric are a great partnership too. Semedo smacks one off the line to keep us still deadlocked and 0-0. They've drawn up a really good partnership together. And I still maintain one of the biggest bargains I've ever pulled off in all my FM years is Eric Bailly in this save on a free transfer as Neves plays a wonderful ball to Fabio Silva, and I'm so glad he converted to get back on the score sheet because of that assist. That's the assist of the series. You know me, I am a sucker for a nice assist, and that to me is the best. That's a 50-yard through ball from Ruben Neves with the weaker left foot. An absolutely perfectly timed, perfect trajectory, perfectly placed. That was absolutely brilliant. That's why he's often got interest from big clubs on him. For now, though, he remains as a Wolves player, and he still will, with 2.5 years left in his deal, and an optional 2 years to extend as well. He's going nowhere, Neves, as NATO should have released at the target there, but it remains at 1-0. Come on, boys. Keep the pressure on that top 4. I'm not letting them go, man. We're good enough to be a top 4 side. I'm not letting those guys go. I won't be devastated if we do miss out on the top 4 again. But I just hope it's not because of a collapse on the final day like last season. If we do remain in the Europa League for next season, that's not devastating. But the most important thing is we maintain a charge, if you know what I mean, with the top 4. And we're always right next to them, if not in there ourselves. But it's Silva with the brace today and Neves with 2 assists as well. What a connection for the Portuguese duo. Corner, Wolves, Emi, backstick, Silva going for the match ball and headed away. We'll keep the chance alive as Pedro Neto tracks down the loose ball, evades one and steps onto his preferred left foot. Can he shoot? He can't, but Neves takes over. Now Buendia finds Semedo, brilliant through ball, and Nelson, oh, it's just about gone in. It's not Silva's, it's an own goal, but we'll take it. 3-0 Wolves, points in the bag. And as we know how competitive this division is, and how often places can be decided by the 1 point or sometimes even goal difference, a big win like this is very helpful indeed. 3-0, the final score at Molyneux, back-to-back victories, great return to winning ways, and again, we might not be in the top 4, we've been locked in 5th. Piss off, Ter Stegen. We've been locked in 5th for the vast majority of the season. But do you know what? We're keeping pace with the top 4. We might not have broken there yet, but we're knocking on the door and we ain't going away just yet. But that went this episode of the FM Reboot, guys. So big thank you for watching. Oh, no. Sorry, Europa League second knockout round draw. First knockout round draw. Let's do it together. Cue the theme song. Let's get the music going. It's the first knockout round draw. No, it's not. What? Where? Why? Why is it not? I thought it was first night. Oh, we get a bye, don't we? Of course we do. We get a bye, don't we? God, the rule changes have totally messed me up. I keep forgetting we've got a bye into the second round, which means that we won't find out our opponents until, well, it will be February. Totally forgot. My mistake, guys. Completely forgot nowadays that the winners of the group qualify for the second knockout round and not the first. My mistake. My mistake. Sorry for the anticlimactic end to today's episode. That wasn't today's episode though. So a fantastic day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you in the next episode of the FM Reboot very soon. I'm very tempted to do the FA Cup third round against Gillingham away, the League One side, and then Spurs at home, who this season had a very tough start to the season, sat in mid-table, and have sacked Rafa Benitez, by the way, as well. Yeah, not against doing that. It could be a nice little double-header there for domestic double reasons. But that was this episode, though. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all. And I'll see you in the next episode of the FM Reboot very soon.